see her for who she was. Thank you.